what the ancient Greek Homer's ancient texts reveal about ancient technology, high technology information in the age of archery, bows and arrows, and shields. Many businessmen all over the world, in order to commercialize the interest of consumer public in certain products, referred to Homer, putting in the mouths of the immortal poet the words he never said. The pair claiming that Homer had characterized it as a gift of the gods to underline the many beneficial properties it has for the human anatomy. It refers, of course, to pears as well as other fruit trees such as apple trees, pomegranates, figs, etc., but not to the fruits, with the exception of the cut of the rhapsody of the dressing, which comes from the country area with sustainable fruit production. Indeed, when Ulysses is in the palace of Alcyone, he admires outside the yard a large array of trees of 4 acres near the doors of the mansion. And there, he says, the trees are very huge and very radiant. Pear trees, pomegranate trees, apple trees. Previously, however, he's admired other curiosities in Alcino's palace, which have never attracted the interest of scholars and philologists. Alcino's palace is internally lined with precious and highly conductive metal, such as gold, silver, and copper. The doors are golden, the posts are silver and bronze, the walls are bronze, and the handles are gold. On either side of the corridor leading to the great hall of the palace were whole gold and silver dogs in life size, made with a wise man mind to guard the great palace. Now, as I'm reading this, I just now remembered the steps towards the throne of King Solomon, King David's son. King Solomon, the third king of Israel, after the Exodus to the Promised Land, he had 72 steps going up to his throne, and each side of the step of the staircase had a lion. And the lion, as the king was stepping from one step to the other, the lion's heads would follow the king as he was going up the lion's heads would turn to follow King Solomon as he was going up the ladder, up the staircase. Obviously, the steps were mechanized in some way with a technology that would cause the lion's head to turn with some kind of a pressure shield once the king stepped on the step with the staircase. Isn't that something? So now going back to this article. So obviously they had tremendous technology that we don't learn about in schools. I guess it's because, it also has to do with the capacity of teachers. I remember when I left Canada, Montreal, to go to the United States. I finished high school in Canada, started college in the United States. I took a couple of summer courses in chemistry, and I gave a pre-grade card in so that I would know my grade before the official grades came out. And I got 98 in chemistry, and the comment of the teacher said, "Where did you lose your two points on your name?" Obviously, he was being very sarcastic, but he was proud of me. But I was just a passing student in chemistry in Canada, and I was always great in science in the States. I would take science and math courses just to get A's. I just want to tell you that the caliber of teachers sometimes is not up to par to take all of this information in as far as what archaeology and the ancient technology was. It was huge. Now, going back to this. Okay, the dogs with the wise minds. Okay, the gold and silver dogs were intended to guard and not decorate the palace. But how could these statues guard the king? Perhaps the answer is found in the verses of the Rhapsody S of the Iliad, where, according to the description of the shields of Achilles made by Hephaestus, it's revealed that the lame god had made for himself a gold all jobs serving God. That is, Hephaestus had made a robot. And he even built wheeled vehicles that took him to the assemblies of the gods. So in other words, these dogs that were guardians were types of robots. Now, does that sounds like shocking information? Well, we know that ancient Greeks had robots. One of them was pouring wine, a mixture of wine and water. They even had elevators. Now, does this shocking information of Homer occupy the specialist? Did Hephaestus constitute the hard disk of ancient technology? And again, in the Odyssey, we learn that gold and silver dogs were guarding the palace of the great-hearted Alkinu, the palace of King Alkinu. How? And from what enemies did these robot dogs guard the king? Did these gold and silver statues of dogs, in combination with copper-plated walls and golden doors and golden bars, look like dangerous metal knives, like swords and knives? When those who would enter the palace obliged to pass through the metal corridor, they would be detected and would be considered enemies. I guess the metal corridor was some kind of a metal detector. Now, is all this an exaggeration? It can be. However, Ulysses, as he crosses the corridor of the palace, is completely armed. And suddenly he appears in front of Alcinous, Artis, and the other lords, who are surprised by his sudden appearance. As if waiting to be notified of the entrance of the unknown visitor, they are literally stunned. The scene does not impress any of the experts, except for the beneficial properties of the pair, because it does not refer to Pausanias the traveler, who mentions that these guards from metal thread that surround him, whoever violated this thread, a blind man blinded him and killed him. Someone broke this metal thread, and immediately a wave blinded him and killed him. It's some kind of a tripwire, right? And Pausanias expresses his question: how did this wave do all this evil, since the sea, as he writes, was very far away? Did he not observe the sea, but electricity? Was it an electrical current that was violated when they write about a wave, and not the wave of water in the sea, which was very far away? Was an electrical circuit violated? Who knows? So these are what the ancients talk about, and Homer talks about. He says the truth. Now, even when he mentions to us the Rhapsody of Ulysses, that the ships of the Phoenicians do not have a rudder or a governor, but you put in their minds where you want to go and they do it, wrapped in sackcloth as they know each other's damage to your destination. So in other words, the Argonauts and the ship Argo was a spacecraft, which was able to know where you wanted to go just by reading your thoughts. Now that is, what kind of ships did they observe? Like the ones that are starting to circulate today. And to imagine that even today students are engaged in producing robotic products with a lot of knowledge of technology. And of course, that all this could not be done in the age of bows and arrows, spears, shields, helmets, shins, guards, and other ancient things. So let's not be so absolute. Do not even today, the space age, the forces of repression with the same ancient weapons work to tame the masses that are rising against poverty, globalization, with helmets, shields, shin guards, and bats. So many thousands of years have passed since the time of Homer. No process was made. So this I've translated for you from a Greek article. Obviously, the wording has to do with high technology. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. This is by Kostas Zoukos on Diadrastika. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support, and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.